Welcome to the narrative. In today's video, I'll be talking about a case of a skilled worker dependent and how the immigration policy affected her stay in the UK. Hey lovelies, welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is Faith Ojone, and on this channel I talk about ways you can travel abroad and settle abroad. I share resources on how you can get started, and I share latest updates concerning the UK, what's happening and the changes in immigration policies here in the UK. And I also share story times like this called The Narrative. If this is the kind of content that interests you, hit the subscribe button down below, turn on your notification bell so you do not miss any of my video. Without saying so much, let's get started. The Court of Appeal recently ruled on a case of a skilled worker dependent. This case involved an Indian citizen. In India, she was a qualified teacher employed to an international school with BA and BEd degree and diploma in education. Her husband and her son lived with her husband's parents back in India. So her husband then got a job in the UK as a skilled worker. It was called Tier 2 then, and moved to the UK on a Tier 2 visa around mid-2016. By then it was still called the Tier 2 visa, but now it is called the skilled worker visa, as we already know. This changes was done in 2020. In 2020, the UK government changed the Tier 2 visa to skilled worker points-based visa. So by 2020, the husband had to apply for his leave to remain because he qualified then. So the woman and her 9-year-old son joined her husband in the UK in 2017 with leave to enter as his dependent. On the 1st of May 2018, the woman made an application for leave to remain as the spouse of a Tier 2 migrant worker, and it was expected to expire on the 29th July 2020. So on the 21st July 2020, the woman applied for a further extension of her leave to remain, which was granted on the 6th of October 2020 up to 12th of August 2021. So that's to say the extension of leave to remain is usually 1 year. So you can extend if you don't want to apply for citizenship or you don't have the finances, you can extend your leave to remain. The woman took the step necessary for her to gain professional status as a qualified English teacher in England and Wales by passing her GCSE qualification in English and successfully completed her postgraduate certification in education in the anticipation that she will eventually settle in the UK, and therefore laying ground for teaching career in England and Wales. So she went further to gain experience and fund her studies. So this woman worked full-time as a teacher assistant and part-time as a customer assistant at McDonald's while her son settled in school. So I mean, she did a lot of things to, enhance her skills and be on the opportunity to get a better job in the UK. The woman's husband was a violent and abusive partner, both while they were still in India and in the UK. The woman had felt unable to seek assistance from the authorities back in India. So while they were living in the UK, her husband threatened that if she left him, she would be deported from the UK because her immigration status was tied to his visa as his dependent. At one point, the woman told her doctor of the domestic abuse she suffered after seeking assistance and was offered advice but decided to remain in her marriage, of course, and held back from reporting the abuse to the authorities. One thing I like about the UK is that most times when you go to hospital for any checkup or any appointment, doctors always ask you if you are currently experiencing any abuse. It's a normal routine questions that they ask women a lot. Maybe you're new in the UK and you go to a hospital and a doctor asks you if your husband is abusing you. There's nothing weird about it. It's just a normal routine questions that they ask. I think they must ask it. In July 2021, the woman's husband attempted to suffocate her while sexually abusing her. She believes he intended to kill her. The incident was interrupted by their son, who was alarmed by the noise and the distress and rushed to the room. Shortly after the woman left her matrimonial home along with her son, with assistance from a woman's help center, she was accommodated with her son in an emergency shelter for victims of domestic violence. a lot of charities have a lot of support for women experiencing domestic violence, and there's a lot of shelter for them to go to. So yeah, that is why she went there. So anticipating the need to address her immigration situation as the end of her leave to remain approached, she explored the possibility of sponsorship job as a primary school teacher, but she learned that the primary school teacher had been taken off the shortage occupation list in 2020, and therefore she could not find a relevant sponsor. Well, I think I have to check the shortage occupation list, because I didn't know that primary school teachers are no longer part of the shortage occupation list. Well, the woman then applied for a special program called the Destitute Domestic Violence Concession. This program allows certain applicants to stay in the UK for 3 months and access public funds and support. The program is meant to help people eventually apply for indefinite leave to remain in the UK. However, the Home Office denied her application because her husband's status was a Tier 2 migrant and did not qualify her for the program. The Court of Appeal upheld the Home Office decision, stating that the domestic violence provision in the immigration rule are limited to certain categories of partners and do not apply to the points-based system dependent. I feel like it's time the Home Office, change some of this policy, because there's a lot of migrants in the UK. A lot of people are either on a skilled worker visa. There's a lot of migrants in the UK, so you need to put in policy that protects women and children from abuse. Excluding them because they are on a skilled worker dependent visa doesn't make any sense. We are all human. Regardless of your immigration status, you should be able to get help from the government when you need it. This means that even if someone has domestic abuse, they may not qualify for the program if their partner's immigration status is not one of the specified types. So the Home Office had a policy that allowed certain partners of people with settled status or refugee status to apply for a visa to live in the UK permanently if they were victims of domestic violence. However, partner of people with temporary work or study visa were not included in the policy because they were not seen as having a legitimate expectation to live in the UK permanently. To determine if her treatment was unfair, the court had to determine if there was a difference in treatment between her and other people in similar situations. The only relevant comparison that could be made was between her and a partner of people with pre-settled status who were included in the domestic violence concession policy. She argued that there was no proper basis for distinguishing her situation from that of a partner of Tier 2 migrants, a point-based immigration system. The Court of Appeal agreed with her argument, noting that the Tier 2 migrants could face certain issues like their sponsors becoming unkind, losing sponsorship, or getting in trouble with the police and courts, which could affect their ability to stay in the UK. What they are saying is that because you're on a skilled worker visa does not mean your stay in the UK is permanent, because you can have issue with your sponsor and your sponsor will withdraw the COS and then you have to go back to your country. The court found out that she was treated unfairly compared to other people in similar situation. The Home Office policy was not justifiable under certain articles in the law. Thank you, court. The court in this case said that the policy issues and the Home Office wish to protect victims of abuse the same as the previous case did not change the outcome. This case highlights the concern about the welfare of migrants who are forced to live in an uncertain and endure distress and the burden of litigation. See, I don't have a problem living in the UK. The UK is a beautiful country. Trust me, you would love it. There are opportunities. The only problem I have is with the immigration rules, the policies around those people who have visa to live in the UK. I feel like some of these policies are not fair. They are not fair because how can you say, okay, migrants, we need you, come to the country, come and help our labor force, come and help our workforce, and then the rules around them staying in the UK or coming to the UK is not fair to them, because now with this situation, most people on a dependent visa who are experiencing abuse from their partner will not be able to run because there is no any law or policy that protect them or that get them to stay in the UK because they are not included. Her case was dismissed. So do you think she'll be deported back to India, or what do you think will happen? This is the end of the case. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Do you think that the UK have updated their immigration policy policy around this, and if they offer any sort of help towards people who are experiencing abuse in their marriage or relationship. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and if you were in the woman's shoes, what would you have done differently? I want to hear your thoughts down in the comment below. And guys, thank you so much for watching. If you're yet to subscribe to this channel, please hit the subscribe button down below. Do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.